Hello and welcome back to Queer Gals Watch the West Wing, Leigh.
It's Christmas time.
It is Christmas and I am feeling merry and bright.
Oh, holy night. What an episode. I'm so excited. I feel we're officially out of our lull. I'm so excited to talk about on Queer Gals Watch the West Wing, Season 4, Episode 11. I am fired up, Fi.
Leigh and I watched the episodes separately, and Leigh had watched this a couple of days before me and had sent me an elaborate voice note about how excited she was for me to watch this episode. And I was like, oh, great, cool. Like, I'm really excited too. Mm-hmm. And then like every day after that was like, but have you watched it? Have you watched it? Have you watched it? Have you watched it? And then I did watch it and I was like, holy shit, that was amazing.
I'm beside myself.
We know that Aaron's going to go for us. Because he always does with the Christmas app.
He's getting someone an Emmy. It's just a question of who.
He simply must get someone an Emmy. The previously on for this episode is very like Donna Jack heavy. Mm-hmm. Will we see romance this Christmas time?
Will they, won't they? I think they will.
And then like a moment touching base with the fact that Andy was like, so sue me. Mm-hmm. I'm pregnant and I don't care. Mm-hmm. And then we open somewhere so far from both of those things. We open in the olden times, and by that I mean the 1950s.
It's Brooklyn Heights. It's Christmas Eve. I'm already obsessed. Oh my God, it's 1954.
There are three men in a car. They're all
One of them is speaking in Yiddish.
I am very lost at the top of this episode. However, I am already very much kind of emotionally involved.
Fi, I'm beside myself. I had a sense of potentially where we might be going because I had been casting around on the Discord for study session requests. Mm-hmm. And the study session request that I received from Daniel on our Discord was, could you do a study session on the Yiddish mafia?
And you were like, huh.
And I was like, say again?
One more time?
The Yiddish mafia?
So we're in this car. There's a lot of like chatting back and forth. And one of them's like, why do you have to be like that? His wife just had a boy. Why can't he feel good? And I was like, huh. Right. It's the 50s.
Who might have been born around Christmas time, 1954? I wonder who that could be. And in my soul, I knew it was Toby.
But the lads in this car are up to no good. And we know it's going to end badly. And Leigh, it put in the shared document, why do I feel like someone's going to die? Because it's Christmas, it's Aaron Sorkin, and someone needs to win an Emmy is the answer.
These men are, for sure, the ancestors of someone we know. Yes.
The suspense music. And then someone does die. Luckily, not Toby's dad, but Toby's dad is like, oh, hey, buddy, like, what did you do in that alley with our friend and why hasn't our friend come back? And the guy was like, don't worry about it. Hey, what'd you call your baby? And he went, Tobias, little Toby.
The baby is Toby. The baby is Toby.
Toby's dad was in the mob?
At one point, I was looking at Toby's dad, who I didn't yet fully for sure know was Toby's dad. And he was just making eye contact with a woman with a pram across the road.
Yes.
And so when I was putting the baby is Toby, the baby is Toby, the baby is Toby.
You thought that baby was Toby.
I thought the baby that we were seeing in the pram was Toby.
No. Little Toby. But Leigh, this is not the backstory we had mapped out for our little Toby.
No, but I love it so much. Tobias.
We were like, he's a military kid. He's moved around. Oh, no. In ways, just a different kind of military.
Just not the official.
To go from like little Toby into smash to credits, insane behavior. Insane.
It's giving musical theatre.
It's giving Emmy nomination.
What Aaron is telling us is that Toby was born into some form of West Side Story.
Yeah. To a snowy modern day West Wing. Mm-hmm. And an a cappella group.
Yes. Go home, Pitch Perfect.
Just some men from Yale doing a cappella.
And CJ is just inexplicably giving a member of this male college a cappella group the sex eyes.
Dead. She
has a kink for a cappella, apparently.
Nothing dries me out quite like a cappella. And that might be too much information, but there's something about specific... Now, hey, I've got time for a Pitch Perfect film.
For a show choir. Oh,
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah. However, like, organized men singing a cappella truly just clams up that ain't nothing getting in there.
Specifically when it's like, why are we trapped in the 1950s? Like, if you're going to give me a Britney, I'm here for it. But why are we so obsessively singing songs from the 50s?
It's
you know
awful.
what I mean?
It's awful. And I don't like this. You just want to take them to your place and...
They're 20 years old, ma'am.
Yes, sing. Is what I was going to say. You take them to your place and sing.
CJ, I fully support you in all of your endeavors.
That's the best ma'am we've ever had in the show. Thank you, Carol, for your service.
They're
They're 20 years old, ma'am.
I love the dynamic that has brewed between CJ and Carol over the course of the series, where essentially it's a much better boss-assistant relationship than Josh and Donna, because Carol simply reads CJ for filth at every turn, particularly in her sexual exploits. But at the same time, we know that Carol would die for CJ.
Yeah. Moving from one sort of insanity to another, Leo asks Josh a very simple question, and this is the response. Hey, you staying in town?
No, she's meeting Jack Reese at the Washington Inn. How does he get a room in the I can't get a room in the Washington Inn. Me, I don't know yet.
What the fuck's going on?
Josh is having a mental break.
Why are you thinking about where Donna is staying with Jack Reese?
Because the question that you were asked, Josh, is, hey, you staying in town. So are you self-identifying yourself and Donna as an individual we?
As a
like,
you?
Like
what are you guys?
As in, like, what are you two doing?
It must be insufferable for everyone around them at this point.
Josh is on a whole new plane of existence this episode.
The comment from Jack Reese last week truly span him out in a big way.
Yeah, he's spiraling. He's gone to the zoo.
He's gone to the zoo.
He is taking in the penguins.
Yeah. He is passing through the gift shop on his way out.
He is in Reptile House. Okay, I'll stop.
So there's much less like intense Christmas decor this year.
Yes, it feels stripped back.
However, because we spend a lot more time in like workplaces around like individual office decorations, we must have a nostalgic moment.
A nostalgia for the multicolored Christmas fairy light. Very much in a primary color.
Yeah. There's a gorgeous warmth that's just simply not possible from the modern LED bulb in a colored light.
It's true.
And I personally love a colored Christmas fairy light. And on a tree, I also think it's lovely.
Remind me to show you a pink armchair that I'm thinking of buying myself so that you can tell me whether it's too much.
Misha, you have to keep that in. That's the most insane thing she's ever said. And she's said some really cracker stuff. Meanwhile, a little festive deposition.
Please. Toby Ziegler is being deposed on his birthday. Confirmation that Toby is in fact a Capricorn. He's one of us. He's one of me.
We bet, and we were correct.
Me. He's a fellow earth sign to us both, and he is my brother in arms as a Cap. Oh, I'm thrilled.
Do you want to explain what you put in the shared doc?
I looked up the specific horoscope for those born on December 23rd.
Excellent. Yes. And do you wish to share?
Those born on December 23rd could feel an unconscious fear of close contacts and intimacy before they are ready and self-taught or self-built enough to have confidence to get in touch with another person. This won't typically make them emotionally limited or fenced, but over time, disappointments could make them question all of their relationships and push them into solitude, contemplation, and processes of forming solid boundaries that require physical distance from other people. They feel the need to try so many different things that they are curious to try themselves out in front of different sorts of relationships. Still, they are somehow mostly tuned to long-term relationships, and when in love, they stay around for as long as purpose is not completely lost. Tell me if that is not Toby Ziegler, the man we know and love.
And to me, what this confirms is that Aaron Sorkin is a horoscope girly.
Yeah.
Back to the deposition.
Yes, I'm so sorry.
No. I really enjoyed that. Toby is being deposed by this absolutely heinous man who's just really awful. And is like, oh yeah, we have to do this because Andrea deceived the electorate because she didn't disclose her medical disability. Now, I went to the internet and I was like, was there a time in which pregnancy was considered a medical disability? No, it was not. The internet was bamboozled by that one.
I would go so far as to say that Aaron Sorkin had kind of out-assholed himself there in terms of like, he kind of is going like, look at that asshole. But it's like, yeah, but Aaron Sorkin, no one else had the idea to say that out loud. Like the person who actually had the idea to say that out loud was you.
Was you. You and Miss White conceived this baby out of wedlock. Gasp. I think my favorite thing about this scene is the fact that this man is so upset that a woman is having a baby whilst not married, and didn't tell the general public that she was planning on having a baby.
Is he actually angry about it, or is he overcompensating because he has a breeding kink?
Both things can be true at the same time.
I think that's why he's so angry. I think that's the only explanation.
A little of column A and a little of column B.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about his exit line, Toby's exit line?
I'm told that on my sunniest days, I am not that fun to be around. Imagine what is going to happen when you make my children a part of your life. Exit stage left. I'm sorry, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with this like new daddy energy from Toby. I'm beside myself. It's so hot.
The final line in Exit is the coolest and sexiest thing I've ever seen a straight man do.
He's just the Papa Bear of it all. I can't.
Yeah. Oh
Something in my body is telling me that Toby Ziegler would be an excellent candidate to father my children. Like that's what my body is telling me. You know what I mean?
That you would want to contact him for sperm donorship.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great choice. You'd have to kind of like grapple with the hairline, which may be a sort of hereditary thing as well. A final festive press briefing.
The press corps exchanged gifts without CJ. How rude.
I know, because they were like, oh, we want to get out of here. That is rude. Well, the thing is, important context. It's absolutely shitting it down with snow outside.
Yeah. Everyone
like, from
is
start to
about
finish
to
in
be
this episode.
snowed in.
And everyone's like, oh, they think they're going to close the airports and stuff and like the roads are getting dicey. So yeah, the press corps like, we already exchanged gifts. And then she was like, oh, but I wanted to meet Santa. And then Santa himself comes in with a gift for CJ and comes up onto the stage.
And CJ and Santa play some sex games.
It's odd for me.
It's an odd thing to do in public, I would say.
Yes. So
in front of the world's press.
There's something very confident as a woman to say you've been very, very bad to Santa. Even I'm too Catholic for that. And I'm not Catholic.
I know. Yes.
And the present is a goldfish pin. And then she like looks Santa in the eye and there's like a moment of recognition. And then Santa starts snogging her.
Yeah.
Because who is Santa?
Santi is what we called Santa in Ireland. Santi is Danny Concannon, who I think we should limit our discussion of. Our patrons very kindly reached out to let me know ahead of time that he would be coming back. And I have very little to say about...
I mean, he doesn't really have much to do in this episode, so we'll sweep past him because I'm really not that bothered anyway. And we'll get into why we're not that bothered when we come to it. But, you know, it's some festive campery. It's wild to go straight in for a snog, I think, personally.
Especially given that, like, she's been with someone else since you, and that person
murdered.
Got shot.
Yeah.
It's a big presumption to make that she's still interested. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's discover Will Bailey in the corridors of the West Wing. And I obviously must hold back the instinct to make lots of It's a Wonderful Life references because it's Christmas or do any Jimmy Stewart impressions. I've kind of got those out of my system pre-record. he's kind of like been working somewhere else, and Toby's like, do you know what, it's really inconvenient for you to be working there, why don't you just move into the office next to mine? And Will's like, obviously that's Sam's office, and everyone else who's part of this staff who's been there for a really long time are going to resent me for that.
Yes, because he's currently based himself out of the Eisenhower Executive Building, which is kind of where like the spillover West Wing staff, that may be rude. I'm at a point in the day where I no longer care, where the non-most senior West Wing staff predominantly work. That is where Will Bailey is comfy, but unfortunately, he has just become Toby Ziegler's new number 2. So he needs to be in office number 2.
And so Toby's like, get your ass in there and do these notes on the inauguration speech.
But then who do we meet?
We walk into Toby's office, and there is an elderly man in there.
There is a dignified older gentleman in Toby's office.
Julie Ziegler.
Oh my God. Toby's dad is in the mafia. I repeat, Toby's dad is in the mafia.
So Julie's there, and he's like, hey, I came, like, Josh invited me here. He gave me like the visitor's tag as like a guest of his, and I wanted to talk to you. And Toby's like, well, basically I've got nothing to say to you. And Julie's like, well, you're brother and sisters.
Brothers and sisters. My thoughts are a swirling. Give me a Ziegler family reunion. Give it to me now. He also talks about like your brothers and sisters, let me be around their kids. So
and like let me into their, like, let me back into their life.
So we know that it is no longer a singular niece and or nephew that Toby has. We're talking like a full family of cousins have Toby Ziegler as an uncle.
Yeah. Uncle Toby.
Oh, I'm beside myself. I always knew that Toby had daddy issues. That we were right about.
Yeah, correct. I'm so proud of you, son. You should hear how I talk about you. Oh, the energy radiating off Toby during that scene, like it's like dripping off him, this disdain. He's so furious at both his father and Josh for inviting him.
In a way that you can only really ever be mad at a parent.
Yes.
You know, where it like...
It's really well acted in that way.
You could just see him like vibrating.
It has a certain texture to it.
In which like anybody else you could probably just give them what for, but like a parent you just can't.
Especially your dad who was in the mafia. Again,
I repeat, in the mob.
In the mob. Great to see that Jed's still in therapy.
Dr. Keyworth, always a pleasure.
I have a American-based question to ask you. Because I have zero concept for like the SATs. Are they like A-levels?
No. So SATs are not based off of any of the like coursework that you've actually been studying. It's more like an aptitude test.
Ew. And, that's how you get into uni?
Yeah. It's like reading comprehension and maths and like vocabulary. It's like very like general knowledge.
That sounds
vibes.
Awful. It's really awful.
Horrific.
And Jed got an 807.90. I'm assuming that's very, very good.
So you have one score for like maths, and then you have one score for English. So it looks like he basically got a perfect score in one of them, and then got like maybe one or two things wrong on the other.
Did you ever take the SATs?
I did. I believe, I don't super recall, but I believe I scored in like the 600s.
That feels good.
Yeah.
That feels impressive.
I did better on the pre-SATs than I did on the SATs themselves. I was like in a higher percentile.
Yeah. It just seems like a very stressful way to test people.
It is. It also is like weird because it's almost impossible to actually finish the exam
in the time. So
like you just have to it's not necessarily even about intelligence. You just have to get good at being someone who's taking the SATs. And then you kind of get into this whole realm of like, it's not actually what you're getting taught in school. So in order to do well, you kind of like need to be doing like SAT prep classes, which are not part of your like publicly funded education. So then that's something that you're paying for. I have a lot of problems with it. Anyway.
Well, Jed took it twice and got the same score each time, which I think is super intense, but very on brand. He's then like, oh, by the way, I'm kind of spacing out in meetings. And Stanley's like, hey, that doesn't feel great.
No.
And I'm like, do we feel like this is MS related or like simply burnout?
I think it might be burnout, but Jed is worried it's the MS.
Mm.
You know what
But
I
I'm
mean?
glad that he's voicing it.
Yeah.
Feels like we're growing.
Mm-hmm.
Leo arrives and is like, sorry, Stanley, you're going to have to stay in the White House for a bit because the airports are closed.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jed does this crazy thing where he's like, oh, it's like the start of an Agatha Christie novel.
Mm.
And he does a voice, which you wrote down to be a pirate voice.
That's what it sounded like to me.
I think that's what he was doing. He was doing like a kind of like strange, oldie worldy pirate voice.
Mm.
And I'm going to say that's kind of crazy
Mm-hmm.
because there is no character in any Agatha Christie novel that talks like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're kind of cozy crime 1920s?
I feel like Poirot was kind of firmly interwar.
Mm-hmm. Primarily set in the 1930s, interwar.
Mm-hmm.
But also there was some in the 20s and some in the 40s.
But can we talk about how this episode won't stop giving?
Yeah. Because who's round that corner?
Do I behold Zoe Bartlett? It is a Christmas miracle.
And who is this man? Who she's with?
Who is this, a new boyfriend? What's going on here? I cannot believe she walks in. She's with this emo
This
kid,
man,
this hipster,
boy,
and she walks into what is Charlie's professional space. I cannot believe we finally get confirmation that Zoe and Charlie have, in fact, since we last saw Zoe, broken up. But we get no context for that whatsoever. We have no idea what kind of contact they've been in between. It kind of feels to me like maybe Zoe did like a study abroad in France.
Surely.
Charlie has been going through heartbreak and we have never once acknowledged or mentioned it.
Yeah, so the new boyfriend is Jean-Paul. He is a French prince.
Obviously, you know, Marie Antoinetted, but genetically, he's a French prince.
Yeah. I'm going to say that this character has 1 to 2 lines because it's a broadly bad French accent this young man is doing.
Which I loved.
Yeah. It was so awful. I was like, I want him to talk more.
Mm-hmm.
And then Charlie Young reads him for filth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jean-Paul, I read 150 words about you in US Weekly, and I feel like I already know you. Excuse me.
It's
very good.
So classy from Charlie.
Very good.
It's just such a classy way of saying, I have no respect for you. Nor do I ever intend to gain any.
I'm really unbothered by you. Have a nice life.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Should we talk about Zoe's outfit? She looks very nice.
She's in like a red polo neck jumper for the festive season with a leather jacket. It's very chic.
She's really leveled up because the fashion was quite bad freshman year.
We leveled up, I think, when we actually arrived in university. I feel like but then there was, we kind of departed and went a bit strange for a while. But she had some great looks. But it does feel like I've just come back from my exchange and I have been changed by the experience of living abroad.
I've been in Paris for 3 months and I'll never be the same person.
Exactly.
She's like, hey, I just wanted to get a temperature check on what sort of like place my dad is in and if you think he would respond well to me inviting Jean-Paul to New Hampshire for Christmas, which is wild to do on the 23rd of December.
It's crazy.
And then she says this line, which is so funny, and Charlie's response is everything. Well, I love him, so my father will love him too.
That's absolutely the way that it works.
He's so funny without trying.
But it's also like such a flex because it's like, honey, not everyone is me.
Yeah. Like you loved me and your dad also loved me. So that's kind of fine.
Not every boyfriend of yours, whatever kind of Euro trash you drag into the White House is not going to become the son that Jed never had. That was just me.
That he gave the carving knife to.
Yeah. Ultimately, I'm the only one with Paul Revere's carving knife. So I don't know what Jean-Paul wants, frankly.
You put this so well in the shared doc when you were just like, Charlie is hotter than Jean-Paul, which is correct. And I would like to proffer this to you, which is Jean-Paul is such a phase boyfriend.
100%.
You know, when you're like sat having like a cup of tea with friends and you're like, oh my God, do you remember when I dated that guy from France?
Yes.
And we're like, oh my God, yeah. And then we like kind of revel in it for a bit. Whereas like Charlie is the one that got away.
100%.
Where if like he called the day before your wedding, we would be like, I don't know if she's going to walk down the aisle tomorrow.
Oh, 100%. I feel like Jean-Paul is Zoe's equivalent of that Canadian traveling salesman that I briefly dated.
Oh, yeah. Well, we were like, respectfully, what the fuck was going on then?
Good
It was a cry for help. It was a cry for help. Not because he was Canadian. We love Canada. More because he was a strange traveling salesman.
And more because of his personality and behavior.
Yes. But a holy shit moment because Danny pulls CJ aside, and this is kind of like the thread that his character has in this episode, is he has been working in Bermuda or was on holiday there or something and has basically cracked the Sharif story.
Danny is low-key so annoying. I have very
so
little
annoying
to say
because
about
you're
it.
like, well, obviously that's amazing investigative journalism, but also please can you not write this is going to ruin the kind of like vibe that we're going for in Bartlett too. But yeah, he has cracked that story. So that's, but also interesting because this is news to CJ because she wasn't on the inside on this. So tensions. But back to daddy issues.
Despite this whole scene between Toby and Josh reading much like a Meisner exercise, which for those who are unfamiliar is an acting exercise where you simply like repeat phrases that don't really mean anything back and forth with each other. There is a lot more depth to it. People really go crazy for it, but it's also very self-indulgent in my view. But despite it kind of sounding like a Meisner exercise, it's very compelling. We love to see Josh not shirking the responsibility, but owning that he made a real choice here.
By inviting Toby's dad.
He really made a full choice.
I think it's all very a play. Like it's Christmas, the snow is falling. It's Toby's birthday. His estranged father is here. His friend, who is also Jewish, is like, you should reconnect.
Toby's dad is so perfectly cast.
There was one line that he says in this scene where Toby's like bustling around and basically like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't want you here. And Toby's dad just says, I could be quiet while you work. And it absolutely decimated me.
I don't know what's going on with me at the moment, but I also do feel like it makes sense to me that Toby would kind of have a little bit of a hot dad. You know what I mean? He's like hot for an older man.
That's like categorically so far from what I thought you were going to talk about. That's like me.
I'm just saying, like, if I was 85, I would. You know what I mean?
He's a handsome gentleman. And obviously, Toby has a handsome father. That's so... You're so batshit woman. Oh my God. But yeah, correct. You know, he's pretty fit. If I was going to sexualize an elderly person, I would choose it to be him.
I mean, what I will say for the actor is it would be very easy to turn the performance of like a 1950s mobster into like a caricature.
Yeah.
I just fully believe that he is this man.
Oh, there's no acting. It is just Richard Schiff's dad.
Yeah.
But Toby's not a happy camper.
No.
Will pops up, to say the least. Will pops in and is like, hey, I've got some thoughts around these notes. And Toby just kind of cuts him off and doesn't listen and then just like walks out of the room.
For a true wordsmith, to simply respond to a full argument by saying the word yeah and then walking out of the room, we know that Toby is truly at the end of his wick.
Yes, and I think he's one of those people that the calmer and quieter they get, the more worried you should be.
Oh, yes, 100%.
And actually, if they're like shouting and hollering and making a lot of noise, they're not that angry.
Yeah. No, absolutely. You've been convicted of multiple felonies. You think the U.S. Secret Service lets you walk around this building unescorted? You can't. You're a threat to the president.
I'm really not.
So much.
I can't handle this.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of dramatic things, Jed is just standing in a snowstorm.
Yeah, because he doesn't feel the cold. Like a brave 18-year-old Glaswegian lass
On a night out.
On a night out. He will not put on a coat.
He simply will not.
It would be a mark of weakness.
It's very dramatic to just be like standing looking at the snow. We cut from that, which is honestly concerning, to a room where it seemingly is just full of these Yale a cappella men and Donna on her own.
Yes, and she's looking adorable. She's in a Christmas jumper, but a very tasteful one. And she's got like a Burberry-style hooded coat that I was obsessed with. Thank God the fashion is really coming back into play this episode, because Carol is also in a gorgeous red suit.
Yeah. She comes bustling in with a plate of sandwiches for the hungry boys.
And the moment that we started getting from Carol, like, I'm going to make sure that you get on the plane to get to Jack Reese in his sexy hotel room at the Washington Inn, I felt sure that Donna was not going to get to the Washington Inn. She was going nowhere.
No. Charlie comes in and he's like, hey, Donna, just so you know, Jed's like asked this thing of Josh. And Donna's like, oh, I'll go right there. And Charlie's like, no, I think you should just go. And they have this like wordless EA
it's beautiful
conversation.
It's a thing of beauty.
Which is, if you go, you're not leaving. You could go now and you wouldn't have known. So leave.
In the words of Jojo, leave, get out right now.
Yeah. Unbelievable. So Jed specifically has got hooked on this infant mortality story, which means essentially editing the budget on the 23rd of December when everyone's leaving for the holidays. And so Josh is like, cool, I'll do that. Also, Josh is currently trying to fix the roof of a particular church.
I believe it's like a major church in Jerusalem, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like people are going on pilgrimages to this church and it's currently closed.
Yes.
And so Leo's got him doing that. Now, when Donna arrives at her desk to where Josh is about to brief her for this job, he says this line.
He says a sentence that contains worlds. A sentence that truly communicates more than anything that Josh has ever said. I would love to unpack, Fiona. What he says is, it's not what it looks like.
What does it look like, Josh?
No one said anything.
What does it look like?
To what are you referring?
What does it look like, Josh?
It looks like maybe you are sabotaging Donna getting to the Washington Inn, because Jack Reese can get a hotel room at the Washington Inn and you apparently can't. Interesting. You really outed yourself there, Josh.
And why are you keeping her from seeing Jack Reese?
Why are you wanting to actively make a plan with your EA for evening drinks on the 23rd of December? Fiona, we are in the heat. We are in the peak of cuffing season.
Yeah. It's very interesting. We'll come back to this. Will is meeting the president.
And no one has ever been more stressed about it.
I love when people get to go into the Oval for the first time. And Will is very nervous. But in fact, he doesn't make it into the Oval because...
No, because it goes the most disastrously it could possibly go.
He just refuses to go in. I think Jed goes, should we step into the Oval? And Will goes, no. It actually, the interaction between him and Jed makes me love him so much more.
Yes, agreed.
I'm like, because he's so slick and so cool that actually seeing him just being like kind of nerded out and geeking out it was really lovely.
It was also lovely to see Jed look at someone in the face and go, you are a stone cold freak.
Yeah. Of course, Toby's hired you. You're an absolute lunatic. Will kind of scurries back to the bullpen where he finds Toby and is like, oh God, it went really badly. And Toby says some of the craziest shit.
He is goading Will Bailey. This friendship has taken on a dynamic which has vague tones of misogyny, but that I am obsessed with. Call me prejudiced in Toby's favor over other male characters in this show, but I will take it from him. He says, makes you feel like you'll never know the love of a real woman.
Yeah, that's a harsh look in the mirror. That'll be with you the next time you try to make love to a real woman. Why? Sorry. Why have we twice in like 30 seconds, Toby, used the phrase real woman?
What does that mean?
Are we insinuating that like he means like rather than
kind of photos or a magazine or
aid, various sort of like sexual aids that may be being used? And then we interrupt this madness for Ginger to be like, oh, like what year did like Anastasia die?
Mm-hmm.
And Toby's like, oh, don't worry, I know who will know this really specific mob-based fact. Sorry, Dad. Oh, Dad. And then his dad was like, oh, it was this year. And then he's like, yeah.
But I need to know why Ginger needed to know.
I know.
What call did Ginger receive that she needed that information?
So funny. Listen, when you get home tonight, you're going to be confronted by the instinct to drink alone. Trust that instinct. Manage the pain. Don't try to be a hero.
Oh my God. I love Toby.
Yeah.
Adore him.
But Will does kind of get one back because he's obviously read that Toby's a bit touchy about his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, your dad seems like such a nice guy. I was talking to him before.
Yeah.
Is he retired?
Yeah.
What did he do?
He made ladies' raincoats, and before that, he worked for Murder Incorporated.
Yes. And Murder Incorporated is the Jewish mafia.
We are going to get into what even is Murder Incorporated. Fee, don't you worry about that.
Excellent. Donna's not left.
The opening shot of Donna's coat still on her chair, her gorgeous Burberry coat that she had clearly worn her best coat because she was going to go see her new boyfriend at a sexy hotel. It's poetic, it's dramatic, it's tragicomic, I would say.
And now to the scene that we have been waiting for.
Thank God Donna asks the question that we're all asking. What did you mean when you said it's not what it looks like?
I meant that I wasn't keeping you here on purpose.
Why would I think you were doing that?
I wasn't.
Why would I think you were?
I don't know. It was just something I said.
It was not just something you said, Joshua.
And then he does a big exhale.
Talk to me about that exhale, Joshua. Kind of felt like maybe you were quite nervous in that exchange.
Feels like it contains multitudes, that exhale. I just think we're so close to actually talking about it.
We're so close to actually talking about it. I almost don't even know how I'm going to feel
when it happens. I thought we were going to have a moment of clarity in this episode. I thought we were really close to it happening then, and then it just scurried away once more.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hey, I thought it was going to happen in season 2, so what do I know?
What do I know? Jed is having a time because he is walking around the halls with his daughter following him whilst she's talking about how great her new boyfriend is.
He's the best looking person I've seen in real life.
This is so funny because it's a read, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's handsome.
Oh, I'm aware that he's the playboy of Europe. I've seen him in the gossip rags.
But also just like, yeah, that's, if I had to say something about him, I would say that he was good looking. Because there's no other discernible parts of his personality.
There's no other substance between those ears.
But it is cute. You know, she does ask if he can come for Christmas, and Jed's like, okay, that's fine. And he refers to Zoe being classy and old-fashioned, which I would really love for Jed to say to me. And then he says this like thing where like he sits her down on a bench and he's like, when you were really little, like 2, I really wanted you to like me and I wasn't sure you did.
I'm obsessed with the idea of a 2-year-old being like, I don't care for you.
I prefer mom.
It's so cute.
And then because it's Christmas, Aaron's like, now it's time. And Jed just like falters a little bit. And then he's like, oh, I did something a little while ago and I'm like struggling to make peace with it. And then he's like, oh, no, anyway, whatever. And then he goes back into the Oval and Leo's like, hey, what's going on? Jed's like, oh, I like basically just nearly told my daughter about the Sharif thing.
Which you absolutely cannot do, Jed.
No.
But it's very cute that the president's kind of moral compass is his idealistic young daughter.
Yeah, who's like fresh to the world and excited by the possibilities of, you know, life. But I do think we're teeing up for the rest of the series So like quashing this story, because then Leo's like, oh, just so you know, CJ's fed through to me that Danny Concannon is basically like worked out what's happening and he's writing up the story. So I think that's kind of like where we're going now.
Yeah.
It's going to be like quashing the story. How do we quash the story? How does Jed deal with his choices? What happens if this comes out? And then we bring Will Bailey into the Oval to make fun of him.
We discover it was all a ruse.
The notes were never real. It was all a ruse.
This is big boy school, Mr. Bailey. You understand.
So good. So essentially, Jed and Leo and Toby had joined forces to be like, we like this Will guy, but like, is he up to scratch? Is he one of our guys?
Can he speak truth to power, which is a very important part of working with the president?
Fantastic. Kind of feel like we could be reflecting on that now in 2026. And it was interesting that, basically Will gets spread for filth, that he just needs to kind of like go into the Oval and say if things aren't good. We get a really good class dismissed moment from Leo.
All right, it's Christmas. You probably have someplace to go.
Lovely.
It's so Bing Crosby. It's like,
yeah. And then we start rolling towards the end of the episode. And it was from this point onwards that I wasn't quite well.
Yes. First of all, we have Toby giving Josh a full Joshua, which I love as like his Jewish brother. You know what I mean? To be like, I'm going to full name you right now.
Yeah. A Tobias Zachary to a Joshua. And he kind of pulls Josh to one side and he's like obviously quite het up and kind of is like, why did you invite my dad? And it goes as this. Would you like to be Josh or would you like to be Toby?
All right, it was desperation. It wasn't out of a desire to do evil. He had a young family and he barely spoke the language. He went to jail. And you went to school and it was all half a century ago. Look, what he did in 2 generations. What room did you just walk out of?
I appreciate that that's what you think. Do I get to think what I think?
No, because you don't know what I know.
What?
That I would give anything to have a living father who was a felon or a sister with a past. That's it.
And I'm done.
Josh.
Because we forget. I think we do forget, you know, that Josh has 2 quite specific, like, experiences of grief at very different points in his life.
2 different, like, origin stories, really.
Yeah. And that, like, it's the 23rd of December and everyone's talking about going home to their families for the holidays.
And I imagine his mom is like maybe living in like an over 50s community in Florida where she's just moved and maybe she's like started dating a widower.
I imagine she's got a busy social circle.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's so interesting. And I think also it's Josh being like, and you're going to become a dad. And you have the opportunity for your kids to know your dad. So like, we need to kind of buck up here a bit. Yeah, I was kind of undone from this point.
Yeah. Toby then, like, as he's walking out of that conversation with Josh, the way that he like pulls at his jacket at the end of the scene, like he was almost like pulling himself back together, was so much.
Beautiful.
But should we move on to Josh being absolutely devastated that Leo helped Donna get to her Christmas date?
Yeah, he bumps into Leo and Leo's like, everything's good. Basically, I've spoken to Jed. We can just bench all of this work until after the holidays. It's fine. I've got Donna on a helicopter. She's off on her holidays. So like, she's not upset at all. And Josh is like, oh, okay.
Because in his head, he was going for drinks with Donna tonight. And I think he was really looking forward to it.
Interesting. Very interesting. We tap out with Toby and his dad, with his dad kind of like being in Toby's office and then like Toby like kind of like rustling around and then kind of trying to find a way to like asking his dad questions and his dad's trying to respond and then Toby's like, we don't have to do this all in one night.
It's so beautiful. It's so grumpy, but so like honest. And it's such a Toby way of saying like, I'm opening my life to you.
Yeah. And then he's like, there are no hotels, so you can stay on my couch.
Toby's dad then, the way he responds, like, made me cry.
Yeah. Because they're like, Toby's like, well, let's go then. And his dad's like gathering up his coat. And as they're coming through the door, he's like, and Andrea's healthy?
Got some names picked out?
Got some names picked out? Fucking hell.
He's just really invested and wants to know the name.
I'm okay. I'm okay. And then we jump back to Leo and Josh. And Leo's like, oh, sorry, Josh. I just wanted to check that I wasn't being insensitive earlier when I sent Donna home. And then Josh kind of flounders. And Leo...
That is the best word
and
for
Leo
it.
says, oh, get it together, will you please?
Obsessed.
And I'm like, I can't with everyone else but Donna and Josh talking.
Yeah. I'm glad people are actually saying it to them.
Yeah.
And also,
yet,
they're all saying it actually to Josh, which is key. Donna's not catching any flack for this.
No.
I just feel like Josh hadn't actually realized how much he's devastated about the existence of Jack Reese until the moment that he was told that Donna got on the helicopter.
It's all becoming real for him, for like her like going for drinks with like a reporter or someone else that works in the West Wing, like at her level. He's like, yeah, whatever. But I think it's like, no, Jack's like a really nice guy. He's attractive. He also has a very powerful job. Like,
he's like, he wasn't threatened by Cliff, whereas I feel like he knows Donna, and I think he knows that she does kind of want like a fairy tale fantasy, and it's like being picked up by a helicopter on the 23rd of December to go and have this like romantic weekend with this like military commander is like, I think it's the first time Josh has ever really truly felt threatened by any of Donna's love interests.
And it would have been so easy for him to like bump into Nancy and be like, tell me a bit more about Jack Reese, and Nancy to be like, these are the reasons why he's a good man. And Josh to be like, cool. But there was something very beautiful about the like last moments of this episode, which is Leo's like, you know, you can go home now, Josh. And Josh was like, hey, I think I'm going to stay and like try and get this church thing sorted.
It's just something beautiful about a Jewish man and a Catholic man working together on the 23rd of December to try and get a church open for Christmas.
Yeah. And we kind of montage through everyone in that sort of like Christmas moment as the episode comes to conclusion. And Jed's just like in the Oval Office staring out at the snow. And I was just crying, and I don't entirely know why. Someone didn't die, but someone's going to die.
Oh, God. Where did that come from? Someone's going to die?
Something bad is coming.
Right.
I can feel it in my waters as a descendant of bog people from Dartmoor.
Do we think Jack
I feel it in
Reese
my waters.
is going to be sent to war?
Oh my God. Okay, war could be coming.
Yeah.
Fine. Something bad is going to happen. I don't know what it is. Something bad is going to happen. I know it. We can't just start the second administration. Something has got to shake us to the core. And I don't think it's someone leaving. I don't think it's I don't think it's Leo retiring. I don't think it will be the same as the end of season 1 with like, there being like a threat on someone's life. But something bad is going to happen. Like maybe Jed's going to have a flare up.
Oh, God.
Anyway, so full of Christmas cheer. That's the end of the episode recap. Feeling super great. To the quick fires. What was your best fashion, Leigh?
Like a tie between Donna and Zoe, I feel.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I think everyone kind of looked a bit more like glam today.
Yes.
From the gal side, obviously all the men looked exactly the same because they don't have to do anything. What could a British or Irish politician never get away with?
I think probably letting their daughter date like French royalty and it being kind of chic.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm pitching for my queerest moment that never meant to be queer as the sort of sexualization of Santa.
Yeah.
Because there was something very drag about Like,
oh, I've been such a bad girl.
yeah, and I really enjoyed it from that perspective. But crazy that you're like doing it whilst you're also doing
In
press
front of the
briefing.
press pool, yeah.
What was your best Writer Leigh moment?
Just the line, "It's not what it looks like," was extremely impactful.
That's such a good pitch.
Because it was so few words, but it spoke volumes.
Yeah. I had a couple, but honestly, I think I have to agree with you. Never has so much been said with such a short phrase.
And I think it was because no one was saying that.
No.
Like, the only one saying that is Josh.
Unprompted.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like a man.
Ooh, so much fun to be had. So much fun to be had in this ep. I feel like I'm going to have to give it to Joshua Lyman again in this episode. No, she's meeting Jack Reese at the Washington Inn. How does he get a room at the I can't get a room at the Washington Inn. Me, I don't know yet.
Very good. Very good. No one asked you about Donna.
Just a man confronting his own thoughts.
Yeah, in the moment.
Yeah, we call it verbal processing.
Speaking in draft. Listen, when you get home tonight, you're going to be confronted by the instinct to drink alone. Trust that instinct, manage the pain, don't try to be a hero.
Yeah, it's so
that
good.
That was mine.
Yeah.
I think that, or when Charlie's like, I read 150 words about you in US Weekly, I feel like I already know you.
You know what? It is so male bitchy, that, and I just loved it.
It's really good.
Yeah.
And what was the moment that made you proudest to be an American?
I was really proud of Toby as an American and as a patriot.
Full stop?
Yeah.
I was like, have I lost her? She's gone. Yeah, I think Toby and his dad reconciling on Toby's birthday.
Oh my God, I forgot it was his birthday. Oh my God.
Is enough for me to be thankful for any day.
Yeah, I'm also just like really proud to be a Capricorn. Yeah.
Well, Leigh, we've come to the portion of the episode where you simply must tell me something I don't know. And what will it be?
At the request of Daniel, we have, what even is Murder Incorporated?
Take me on a journey.
The Museum of Jewish Heritage opens its discussion of the Jewish mob by saying, since the 19th century, Jews have been involved in organized crime all over the US. Some of the most famous mafiosos, including Bugsy Siegel, Meyer Lansky, and Mickey Cohen, were all Jewish boys who grew into some of the most influential underground figures we know. These activities flourished during Prohibition as many became deeply entrenched in bootlegging, gambling, and murder.
Ooh.
Some further things to look into if you're interested in this, and I'm saying them purely because I'm obsessed with the titles. Robert Rockaway wrote a book called "But He Was Good to His Mother: The Lives and Crimes of Jewish Gangsters."
Incredible.
And Joe Kraus is the author of "The Kosher Capones: A History of Chicago's Jewish Gangsters."
Incredible.
Also, I have some film recs for you, Fee. Lansky, the biopic of Meyer Lansky, being played by the one and only Richard Dreyfuss from
Incredible.
1999. Lansky is the film. And then we have Bugsy from 1991 about Benjamin Bugsy Siegel. So, who are these guys? Let's start with Meyer Lansky, who we must picture as Richard Dreyfuss. Nicknames: the mob's accountant and Secretary of the Treasury.
Those are both amazing nicknames.
He was born in what is now Belarus and fled due to anti-Semitism and immigrated with his family in 1911 to the United States when he was 9 years old. His mob career ultimately spanned from pre-Prohibition in New York City in the Lower East Side to consolidating the New York mob under the term the Syndicate under Charlie Lucky Luciano. When he reached maturity, he was only over 5'4" tall and weighed 136 pounds. He met Lucky Luciano, who ultimately would become the head of the Syndicate, when they were teenagers. Luciano ran a small Sicilian gang that extorted money from Jewish kids. And Luciano was impressed by Lansky's feisty defiance of his threats, despite his diminutive stature.
I love this already. I know that these people did a lot of violent crime. However, I'm invested.
So after meeting Lucky Luciano, Meyer Lansky tells his friend, fellow Jewish Lower East Side troublemaker Bugsy Siegel, that they have to organize in the same way the Italians and the Irish have into gangs. We need to get organized. And so they form the Bugs and Meyer mob.
You've got to have a catchy name.
So Prohibition officially begins in 1920. The Bugs and Meyer mob ultimately becomes one of the best known Prohibition gangs and ran a lucrative rum running operation.
Oh, Leigh, I know about the rum runners. I know about the rum runners.
Oh, you do, from your decades that you spent in the 1920s with Jay Gatsby.
I can't escape from the rum runners. Rum runners. That's hard.
Naturally, the gang operated out of Manhattan's Lower East Side, started out bootlegging in Prohibition, eventually became part of the Syndicate, which was an alliance of mobsters of various national gangs. Mm-hmm. The separate enforcement branch of the Syndicate, started by the one and only Meyer Lansky, was created to carry out murders. It was an organization of Italian and Jewish gunmen for hire that would later become known as Murder Incorporated.
Ooh.
Thank you for the panto response. I appreciate it. So Meyer Lansky is, in comparison to the other kind of mostly hot-headed members of the mob, he's like a very even-tempered man. He doesn't lose his chill easily, which is one of the things that kind of sets him apart and propels him into a leadership position amongst this kind of union of gangs. He also had an incredible head for maths and became the behind-the-scenes financier. He avoided the limelight, unlike somebody else who we'll meet in a little bit, which the limelight mostly came with like public open displays of violence. But he was very closely linked to Lucky Luciano's 1931 violent takeover of the New York mafia by murdering Joe the Boss Masseria. And Salvatore Maranzano. And because he was such a close associate of Luciano from when they were teenagers, he gets propelled to the top of mob leadership in the United States.
Whoa.
After Prohibition ended in 1933, he transitions his focus into gambling interests around the United States and ultimately internationally. He ended up running casinos and nightclubs for organized crime, owned by organized crime, in Vegas, Cuba, and Florida. He was central to the development of Las Vegas into the city we know it to be today. And he was central to turning Havana into an open city for the mob. He controlled casinos in the Bahamas and in London, and reportedly had a Swiss bank account through which he laundered all of the profits. He encouraged other mobsters to invest in Cuba. He owned or had financial interests in at least 3 casinos that are historically confirmed: the Habana Riviera, the Hotel Nacional, and the Montmartre Club. And this was all thanks to his business relationship with the Cuban dictator Fulgencio Batista. They reached an agreement that in exchange for large sums of money, Batista gave Meyer Lansky control over Havana's racetracks and casinos, basically turning Havana into a large-scale gambling city, and that the Batista government would match any hotel investment over $1 million. So Lansky invests huge sums of money in casinos in Cuba and even built his own. Meanwhile, Batista is getting kickbacks from the financial success of Lansky's casinos.
Right.
In the 40s, he started investing in Vegas casinos, and he sent his old friend from the streets on the Lower East Side of Lower Manhattan, Bugsy Siegel, to oversee construction of the famous Flamingo Hotel. We'll come back to that later. Unlike other gambling operations that were rigged, Lansky insisted on honest gambling because he had the mathematical skills to effectively work out the odds for all of the biggest kind of wagering games.
Mm-hmm.
But now we get to World War II. By the time World War II rolls around, Murder Incorporated, the organization of Italian and Jewish gunmen, was targeting Nazi sympathizers within the United States.
Okay.
By 1941, Meyer Lansky, he tried to enlist, but he was too old and too small.
He would never, he was too wee.
He was too small. But they already had a reputation as Nazi hunters on the streets of Manhattan. So they then follow up on tips from the Navy and the FBI on potential Reich sympathizers in a mission known as Operation Underworld.
Ooh.
They successfully found out German and Italian secret agents across New York and prevented sabotage at the New York docks. And it was rumored that later charges against Meyer Lansky and deportation proceeding was dropped due to his wartime services.
Interesting.
It was at a syndicate meeting that Lansky made the famous comment that the American mafia was bigger than United States Steel, which was one of the world's largest corporations at the time. This quote went on to be used by the fictional character Hyman Roth in the film The Godfather Part 2, and Lansky is widely viewed as the inspiration for that character. He became a household name in 1950 and 1951 after hearings at the Senate Crime Investigating Committee. The committee, which was headed by Senator Estes C. Kefauver of Tennessee, is the most far-reaching study of organized crime ever undertaken. Meyer Lansky was named in that investigation as a major boss, but when called to testify, he didn't really give any useful information, as one would expect. Of course, his gambling operations turned to disaster with the Cuban Revolution in 1959. That was not a good business day for Meyer Lansky. Because Fidel Castro nationalized all of his casinos. And at the same time, there was a crackdown on illegal gambling in the United States. In 1970, he was indicted for federal tax evasion, as one would expect. And he and his family tried to flee to Israel under the right of return for Jewish people. But I read that apparently he is the only person who was ever refused when trying to claim Israeli nationality. 7 countries, Switzerland, Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay, Bolivia, Peru, and Panama, rejected his offer of $1 million for sanctuary.
No way.
He was quoted as saying at the time, "That's life. At my age, it's too late to worry. What will be, will be. A Jew has a slim chance in the world."
Wow.
He ultimately returned to the US, was arrested in Miami International Airport, and posted the $250,000 cash bail within an hour.
I'm sure he did.
He was ultimately acquitted or had all of the charges dropped against him, possibly due to his ill health by this point, or possibly due to his services to the United States government during World War II. We will never know. But he lived in Miami until his death from lung cancer in 1983. Federal agents claim that he still had $300 million somewhere when he died, but Lansky claimed to be broke. At the time of his death, he officially only had $35,000 in his bank account. And to this day, his family don't know where his money went.
Oh my God, there's gold buried somewhere.
According to his New York Times obituary, a FBI agent once admitted grudging admiration and that he would have been a chairman of the board of General Motors if he'd gone into legitimate business. He kept a notebook in his desk drawer, which was found after his death, and in it he wrote, "Take responsibility on your shoulders and it will leave no chips," suggesting that he had purposefully hid his fortune from his own children.
I actually really rate that. If I'm not going to live to enjoy it, then you guys certainly won't have it.
He is regarded as the financial genius of the criminal underworld and is ultimately one of the most important figures in the development of organized crime in New York, nationwide, and the world over in the 20th century.
Lovely.
But now to his friend Bugsy.
Let's talk about Bugsy.
Who is entirely another kettle of fish. Old, as often happens, old childhood friends who could not be more different. He was born in 1906 to Russian Jewish immigrants in Brooklyn, New York, and kind of resented the poverty that he was born into and made it his mission to rise above. His fellow gang members nicknamed him Bugsy due to his crazy temper, which you read about whenever you're reading about him.
Always a good sign when your friends are like, hey man, your temper's crazy. Here's a nickname because you're just a crazy guy.
When your friends in the mob are remarking upon your temper.
Yeah. That's wild.
And they called him Bugsy because he was, quote, crazy as a bedbug.
Yikes.
A fellow gang member said he was like a pistol when he got mad. But apparently the name Bugsy reminded him of being poor and young, and so he hated it. And anyone who actually called him Bugsy to his face risked bodily harm.
That's so intense to be like, I hate this nickname, but I'm not gonna make people call me anything different. So when people just call me by that name, I'm just going to beat them up.
Just you wait. Benjamin gets so much more intense. He grew up extorting protection money from cart peddlers on the Lower East Side who didn't want his protection, but then he would attack them himself if they didn't pay him for his protection. But as a teenager in 1918, he meets and forms an alliance with our friend Meyer Lansky. He was one of the founding members, chief operators, and leading hitmen of Murder Incorporated. So he was not taking the backseat role that our friend Meyer was taking. No. He was very much up front and in the spotlight. By some estimates, he murdered more than 30 men. That is not including the people whose murders he arranged or those he killed in tandem with others.
Okay.
He is also credited with bringing organized crime to the West Coast.
Wow.
Because in the mid-1930s, Murder Incorporated was under prosecution in New York, and Meyer Lansky was like, you're about as subtle as a bull in a china shop, so I'm going to suggest that you head out to Hollywood.
And while he was there, he was like, I may as well work while I'm here.
Truly. He worked on the area's wire services and kind of ran the syndicate's narcotics trade route through Mexico. He helped set up new circuits with Al Capone's Transamerica wire service. He set up gambling dens. He was very busy. Offshore gambling ships, consolidated existing prostitution rings, narcotics, and bookmaking operations. By 1942, under Bugsy, the syndicate's wire operation was earning $500,000 a day.
That's insane money. Like that's crazy.
He became friends with all of the biggest names in Hollywood. In fact, the actress Jean Harlow was godmother to his daughter Millicent. And he was known for his lavish parties at his Beverly Hills home. I believe his wife is still in New York, but he just fully has a mistress called Virginia Hill who he lives with in LA.
Oh, yeah.
He was famed for his flashy dress and is quoted as saying, class, that's the only thing that counts in life. Class. Without class and style, a man's a bum. He might as well be dead.
I like him.
He bought himself really expensive houndstooth suits and silk shirts. He was very concerned about the possibility of losing his hair, which was also always perfectly coiffed. Apparently, he had many creams to try and thicken his hair. And he also used face creams and a chin strap to keep his youthful looks.
I'd love to see a diagram of that chin strap.
I think it was like a sleeping thing.
Yeah, amazing. Amazing. Full skincare regime.
Full. He was a metropolitan man. But in the 40s, he catches wind of the economic possibilities in Vegas. And the syndicate and Meyer Lansky sends Bugsy out to Vegas to investigate. Billy Wilkerson, who was a gambler, a drunk, and a raconteur, as well as the founder of The Hollywood Reporter.
Wow.
Yes, was
What
building
3 things to have before your name, before the mention of The Hollywood Reporter?
Yeah. He was building a new resort, but had run out of money. And so Bugsy is like, no problem. Your hotel will be funded by the mob.
Stunning.
And he took over construction. It was a big departure because at the time, all of Vegas's resorts were like frontier themed and like Wild West. Whereas Bugsy was like, we're thinking Havana. And he was like obsessively improving the blueprints, adding extra kind of luxury amenities and expensive furnishings. He did not have Meyer Lansky's business or money sense. And so the contractors screwed him over. Listen, it happens to the best of us. And like charged him double. It was like insanely over budget. And basically the syndicate, his superiors in the syndicate, are convinced that he's skimming money off of the budget.
Oh no.
But the hotel is nicknamed the Flamingo after his mistress, Virginia Hill. And basically he gets himself into a bit of trouble with the budget for the Flamingo, to the extent that on June 20th, 1947, an unknown gunman murdered Bugsy as he sat reading the evening newspaper in Virginia Hill's living room. When the police arrived, he was riddled with bullets, is the quote.
Whoa.
And his right eye was 15 feet away from his body.
Oh my God.
Yeah. His murder put Vegas in the national spotlight, and he was like above the fold in every newspaper across the country, or rather his corpse was. Meyer Lansky denied involvement in the murder.
Interesting.
But there is a theory that it was a syndicate-approved hit.
Wow, yeah.
Because minutes after Bugsy died, syndicate leaders walked in and took over management of the Flamingo.
Interesting.
And the ultimate success of the Flamingo financially spurred the development of the Strip and turned Las Vegas into what it is today, with all the casinos and resorts. Some claim that Meyer Lansky at a Havana meeting of the syndicate approved Bugsy's assassination. He never admitted to approving the hit, but said had it been up to him, Bugsy never would have been killed. Either way, Lansky's associates take over the Flamingo, and the property generated income for Lansky and the mob for decades.
Well.
Is Murder Incorporated.
I've had a whale of a time.
Yes.
I'm going to watch some films and documentaries, I think.
I think I will be watching Lansky and Bugsy as films. Mostly to see how the other is portrayed. Like, how is Bugsy portrayed in Lansky, and how is Lansky portrayed in Bugsy?
Yeah, definitely.
But 2 big lives for 2 boys from the streets on the Lower East Side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And hey, who doesn't love a Nazi hunter at the end of the day?
At the end of the day, now that's something I can get on board with. Leigh, that was so much fun.
Shall we come back and face the new year in the Bartlett administration?
Who's gonna be kissing who at midnight?
Do we think there's going to be an incident at the inaugs?
Oh my God. Maybe.
And I look forward with excitement to the fact that Zoe has made her triumphant return.
My hope is that will see some more Zoe content in the series.
Yeah, 100%.
And God, please, let there be all 3 daughters at the inauguration. Let us meet Liz.
Where is Liz?
Where's Liz? Absolutely. Well, I'll see you next week then, Leigh. We have been Queer Gals watching The West Wing. If you want to get in touch with us, you can send us a little email if you'd like. queergalswatch@gmail.com.
We always love a little rate and a little review. We love a little follow on Instagram at Queer Gals Watch. Just however you personally would like to support the podcast, we love it. And we love hearing from you.
Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.